Alright, so, you guys have probably been wanting me to talk about this. You guys, definitely wanted me to talk about something to do with Kingdom Hearts 4, because, I know, it came out of nowhere today, it just got announced, and I was going to initially talk about the trailer, but by the time it came out, I was already getting ready for work, and if I had, I'd be late. Excuse me. But yeah. And it's been a couple hours. Everyone and their mother has pretty much given their thoughts on the trailer. So, I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk about another aspect. Obviously, with Kingdom Hearts, you have a lot of Disney properties in there. So today we're going to be talking about, in this video, we're going to be talking about all the possible properties that could, the Disney IPs that could show up, and what I'd like to see in Kingdom Hearts 4. So let's get started with the first one that's probably the most likely, Encanto. Encanto is probably, I am 99% sure that Encanto is going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4. From the popularity from the film, to the stories you could do, it definitely does lend itself to a Kingdom Hearts feel. As for guest characters, party member characters, I'd say either Maribel or Bruno as those, but I don't know what you could do with either of them. They're not really fighters. I'd say that's more like Ariel, or they're more like healers. I don't know. Anyway, so Encanto, I think, has the strongest. Out of all these I'm going to talk about, definitely Encanto. I'm also going to say, as another, Frozen is probably going to show up as well. I actually forgot Frozen was in Kingdom Hearts 3. And probably because I don't care about Frozen at all. But, yeah. It's probably going to be, if they does show up, it's probably going to follow Frozen 2, if anything else. So I'm just accepting that Frozen's going to be in Kingdom Hearts. I'm literally just going to accept that Frozen's going to be in Kingdom Hearts, and that's just basically how it's going to be. I'm just going to have to accept it. As for another, I think has the strongest chance of being in here, it's Zootopia. I have no doubt in my mind that Zootopia is going to show up in Kingdom Hearts 4. I was actually shocked when Zootopia wasn't in Kingdom Hearts 3. But I am 90% sure, 90 to 95% sure Zootopia is going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4. Yeah, I am 90% sure Zootopia is going to be in there. Probably have animal version of Sora, and Donald and Goofy can just look like Donald and Goofy, depending on what happens to them in the game. Now, as for another one, we're going to talk about this real quick, is Star Wars. And the reason I bring this up is because there's a scene in the trailer, and Jason Voorhees 2011 brought this up to me. Even though he's not a Kingdom Hearts fan, he's like, look, I don't know about Kingdom Hearts, but there's something you need to see. And he showed me this Twitter post of a image of the trailer of a foot, and they point out that's a goddamn ATST foot. And Jason then proceeded to go, I don't play Kingdom Hearts, it's not my thing, but that forest area does remind me a lot of Endor. And I'm like, oh, could we be getting Star Wars in here? Now, this was something that even the creator of Kingdom Hearts had talked about, was the possibility of having the Star Wars property in there along with Marvel. And Marvel's a whole bag in and of itself, and it could happen with Square Enix also having a large video game stock and doing a lot of the Marvel games. So we could get the Avengers or Spider-Man or something Marvel in Kingdom Hearts 4. But let's talk about Star Wars for right now. Star Wars is such a malleable property that I think it could be, and we could end up on Endor. That way we could have Luke Skywalker. Return of the Jedi actually makes a lot of sense to, if you were going to pick a timeline, because Star Wars in of itself has so many different eras you could pick from to easily put Kingdom Hearts with. And Return of the Jedi actually makes a lot of sense. You can have Luke, a very well-trained Luke, as your party member. You could fight Darth Vader, and you can fight the Emperor. You can even have mini boss fights with an ATST. even team up with Wicket. There's so many ways you could do this. You have Han, you have Chewie, you have all these characters. Leia, you have Leia too. You have all these characters that you could have as, like, I probably have a feeling that the party member characters will probably be a lot bigger this time around, so I have no doubt in my mind that's going to be a thing. So, yeah, I think it could happen. As for other Star Wars stuff that could be in here, I think the one, if I would pick one, because nothing's been confirmed about this foot, or if Star Wars is going to be in Kingdom Hearts at all, is that I think the one I would pick if I was to put Kingdom Hearts with any Star Wars era, it'd be The Mandalorian. You would still have Luke. You could still play around with, Luke. You could have Ahsoka. But mainly you'd have You'd have Din Djarin as your party member, and the mission could be go save Grogu and have Moff Gideon as a boss fight, as well as you'd fight Heartless empowered Dark Troopers. That'd be really cool. Anyway, so there you go with a bit of Star Wars. I'll also say that this would be a lot of fun. There's, like, as we know, there's always the Hercules tournaments and whatnot, and I think it would be great to have, like, one more boss fight, the final boss fight in those tournament challenges, and you just hear dun dun dun, the Duel of the Fates playing, and it's Darth Maul you have to fight. Yeah, like Hades brought Darth Maul out of hell to fight you. That'd be great. Also, lightsaber Keyblade. Don't tell me they didn't think about that. Don't even say, no, they're not going to do like they didn't even think about a lightsaber Keyblade. That creative team is thinking, or at least thought about, a lightsaber Keyblade. Don't even tell me that shit didn't happen. So yeah, lightsaber Keyblade. That's all I'm saying. As for other Disney properties, let's talk about some I would really like to see. I will say that I will bring up my girlfriend's real quick. She brought up my girlfriend brought up one, even though it has kind of shown up, they haven't really done a lot with it, at least not from the main games. Neither of us could remember if this showed up in the spin-off games, but Sword in the Stone. Now, yes, Merlin has shown up in Kingdom Hearts games, but we can't remember if, like, the rest of that universe showed up, because it'd be a lot of fun to really go through the Sword in the Stone universe, and also have Madame Mim work so much as a boss fight. Like, you could have her, like, the first boss fight would be her transforming into, like, animals that, like, you have to dodge. Like, she turns into a rhino, you gotta jump out of the way and hit her from behind. And then the second level of that boss fight is when she falls off the cliff, and then she comes back as the dragon form, and you gotta fight her. So, speaking for my girlfriend, Sword in the Stone. Also, another one would be a lot of fun, that she brought up, the Rescuers. I personally would go with Rescuers Down Under, probably because, even though that was kind of under the radar, that was still a really fun game. That was a really fun movie, and also McLeish would be a really terrifying boss to fight, as well as fight him and Joanna, and maybe even a giant crocodile Heartless. And you'd get to ride on the eagle. Dude, that's perfect. You get to ride on the eagle. But would you be a mouse? You'd probably make you a mouse size. Probably. Anyway, so moving right along. Treasure Planet. This is one a lot of people have been begging for the longest time. Treasure Planet needs to be in Kingdom Hearts 4. You could have Jim or Amelia as your party member. You could fight John Silver, Scrub. You could have Morph as a summon. Like, I'd even take Morph as a summon, really. Like, if you're not going to do the whole world, at least give us Morph as a summon. Or even have, like, Morph be a summon after that. That'd be cool. Another one a lot of people have been asking for, Atlantis the Lost Empire. Atlantis would be a lot of fun. Have Milo or Kita as your party member. Fight Rourke and the second in command's name. And more importantly, the Leviathan as a boss fight. Could you imagine the Leviathan as a boss fight? That would be so fucking perfect. Yeah. I would say definitely Atlantis the Lost Empire. For a few others, Raya and the Last Dragon, you could have Raya, you could fight Namari, you can save her from the Heartless and the rest of the world, because the Droon are literally just Heartless. Like, when you really look at it, the Droon are kind of like the Heartless, so you could have the Heartless invade and make them Droon empowered or something, and then by the end of it, you get Sisu as a summon. You could have Sisu be your summon, just like how Genie became the summon at the end of the Aladdin level in the first Kingdom Hearts. I think that'd be a great callback. So there's that. I would also say, for another fun one, and this is more like, I'd love to see this done in some capacity, Hocus Pocus. I mean, and you may be thinking, well, that's dumb. Why would we have a live action anything? Remember Pirates of the Caribbean? This kind of applies here. So Hocus Pocus, you could fight all the sisters as boss fights, or it'd be also kind of fun, kind of like how they had Steamboat Pete as a party member in that cartoon world in Kingdom Hearts 2. How you could have the Sanderson sisters team up with you and have Binks the cat be your summon. That'd be kind of neat. I think that'd be kind of fun to utilize. They've been utilizing a lot more of Hocus Pocus, and there is Hocus Pocus 2 coming out on Disney Plus soon. I'm just saying. For other characters, that's a tough one. There's so many. I've named all the big movies. I think the Jungle Book would... I'm surprised the Jungle Book hasn't been utilized a lot. Have Baloo, but my girlfriend brought up, why not Tailspin? And that's the other thing. Why aren't we utilizing more of the TV shows? Because literally, you have Gravity Falls. You could do Gravity Falls, Gargoyles, Phineas and Ferb, Kim Possible. There's a whole treasure trove of of the shows, not just the movies, that you could just pull out of your ass and use. Like, the possibilities are just kind of endless, really. So, yeah. There's so many characters to use. Also, gotta bring this up. The Horned King. I want the Horned King as a boss fight. I want to go to the world of the Black Cauldron. And have heartless skeleton monsters to fight. Have Taran as your party member, yeah. And again, just for the sole reason of having the Horned King as the boss fight, like that alone, that's all I really want, is the Horned King as a boss fight. So yeah, there you go, guys. That is pretty much my my picks for Kingdom Hearts, what I want to see in Kingdom Hearts 4, but you guys tell me in the comments below. Who do you want to see in Kingdom Hearts 4? Like, what properties do you want to see in Kingdom Hearts 4? I know there's a lot. I know there's just a ton of characters to want to use. For a few last-minute ones, I would like to say the Rescue Rangers. Again, there's a whole treasure trove of just cartoon shows to really use. And I know, like, another one, we did get Big Hero 6. And there's still a chance for Marvel, and people have been saying, like, maybe this is time for Star Wars to show up. There is that possibility as well. Like, that's another, like, strong possibility for Star Wars, that Star Wars might actually show up, but nothing's been really confirmed yet. So, yeah, this is going to be interesting, so I'm excited. But, again, you guys tell me in the comments below, who would you want to see in Kingdom Hearts 4? Like, who do you want to see show up as summons, whole levels, whole worlds? Just comment below, let me know. And as always, if you haven't already, hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the multiverse.